Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports with myself, Liam Jenkins, where, as you might have guessed it, we go over everything that's happened this week in Philadelphia sports. Again, if you're new to this channel and you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, it would be amazing if you could, and turn notifications on. It is the best way to support this channel, and we're this close to 20,000 subscribers, so it means you'll be part of our infamous 20k club, alright? The next big fancy one's like 50k, alright? This one sounds good, make sure you're a part of it. Seriously though guys, your support has been absolutely amazing over the last couple of months. I cannot thank you enough. You don't realise how much impact that has on our team, where stress levels are at an all-time high, okay? Like, the coronavirus has obviously ripped through the sporting world, and on that note, unfortunately, nothing's happening. Again, it's another week. This week in Philadelphia sports, nothing, mate. Nothing's happened. But that doesn't mean we're without things to talk about, because if you've been tuning into phillysportsnetwork.com over the last couple of weeks, you'll have noticed I've been running a series called 5 Things to Know, and then an Eagles rookie. So the idea is we go through the transcript of their first interview as an Eagle, through their player bio, through their history, and just find 5 things that you may not be aware of. And after about the third go, I realised something interesting. It surely can't have been a coincidence that every single player up to that point had either had a connection to the Eagles themselves, to another draft pick selected by the Eagles, or something along those lines. It was way too coincidental for this to happen. And then I went through every single draft pick, and believe it or not, they have all got a connection to the Eagles some way, somehow. Alright, I've never seen this before. I've genuinely seen so many draft classes. I've never seen one where every single player has a direct link to the team somehow. So what I did was I put on my CSI sunglasses and I said, I guess it's time to make a first draft. So let's start with Mr. Jalen Regan, the man picked at selection number 21. Now this one's slightly more common knowledge than some of the others, but his father, Monte Regan, actually played for the Eagles in 2007 as a defensive tackle, and even earned the Ed Block Courage Award. What's also known about Monte Regan is that he was a Super Bowl champion, but what isn't is that one of his teammates, strap yourselves in for this one because here's where it gets fun, is Erin Morehead, the Eagles' current wide receivers coach, the man that is going to be held responsible for coaching Monte's son Jalen, who was selected at pick 21. And if that wasn't enough, okay, Erin Morehead knew Jalen as a child due to the relationship with Monty and tried to recruit him to Texas A&M, where Morehead would then develop names like Christian Kirk. So in some sort of parallel universe, these guys could have been intertwined throughout their entire careers up to this point. But it is wild that Jalen Regan, since his days as a child, has been linked with Erin Morehead, and now they both end up in Philadelphia together, thanks to his father, who was then a teammate with Morehead with the Colts. That's just the start of the rabbit hole, right? We've got a long way to go. We've got a long way down, so buckle up. Right, Jalen Hurts to me is a fascinating case because he actually formally met with the Eagles, and I know that's not really a direct link, but it was kept very, very quiet. Like, no one knew about this until Jalen actually had a press conference as an Eagle where it was like, yeah, formally met with the Eagles at the Combine, baby. Don't know why you're so shocked. Because no one knew about it. Jalen, no one really had a clue. But it doesn't end there, okay? It doesn't end there, because during my It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia Pepe Sylvia level discovery, I found out that Jalen Hurts attended Steve Clarkson's QB retreat, the 2-day camp for quarterbacks. Many, many quarterbacks attend it every year. Last year included names like Trevor Lawrence, Shea Patterson, Jacob Eason, and of course Jalen Hurts. And one man it also included was Khalil Tate, undrafted free agent, now wide receiver of the Philadelphia Eagles. And the two were roommates at that camp. So again, another link to another player. And if that wasn't enough, Jalen Hurts also started working out with Kes Watkins after the NFL Combine. But I don't want to touch on that too much just yet. I'd rather dive into that in far more detail when we get to Kes himself later in this video. Now, Savion Taylor doesn't actually have a direct link to the Eagles per se, but what I did find really interesting was that in his first press conference, he alluded to the fact that the man contacting him, recruiting him, just touching base, seeing how he's doing, flirting with him, wasn't a member of the scouting team. It wasn't a member of the personnel department. It was Jim Schwartz, and it was linebacker coach Ken Flagel, which I found fascinating because, to my awareness, I don't think defensive coordinators typically go after third round prospects and go, hey, Davion, Davey Wavy on. Wavy Davey. How are we feeling, buddy, old pal? You still running quick, are you? Yeah? Good. You're all playing for Colorado? Oh, them Buffaloes, Yeah, yep. Just doesn't happen. I mean, that may be the case routinely, and I'm just not aware of it, but I thought Jim Schwartz would have far more things to do than recruiting a third-round pick out of Colorado. Surely that's the... Either way, I mean, that in itself is interesting. The fact that Jim Schwartz has that link already, has been one of the more prominent faces in getting him to Philadelphia, is surely going to have an impact on the way that he becomes a Jim Schwartz guy, very much in the way that Jalen Mills is a Jim Schwartz guy. Let's not forget that Jim Schwartz was the man pushing for Zach Brown when Jamie Collins existed, and that went well. So we know that Schwartz does have a hand in those personnel decisions, and it wouldn't surprise me if Savion Taylor has been the latest in a long line of Schwartz selections. Alright, Kavon Wallace, we know this one's a little bit more linear in the way that Kavon Wallace was roommates with the son of Brian Dawkins. That's right, Eagles legend, Weapon X, his son, Brian Dawkins Jr. currently plays for Clemson and was roommates with Kavon Wallace, and here is what he had to say. I'm actually close friends with his son. Me and his son were roommates my first 2.5 years together in Clemson. I met him throughout the whole process. They're like family. My mom, I said mom, knows his mom very well. They communicate here and there. But just we never really talk much about football. We just talk about life and our spiritual selves because he's a man of God first, and he always wanted his son and I to be happy in the word and to be driven spiritually, because that is where your passion comes from, and football always takes care of itself when you have the right things in place. So then Brian Dawkins obviously tweeted out a statement of endorsement to Kavon Wallace, which is a very good thing, and it's very easy to see why Eagles fans are going to fall in love with this player. This is a chip on your shoulder, tenacious, angry young man that wants to just bully everyone on the other side of the field. I love the selection. I think it's brilliant, but the fact that he has a relationship with Brian Dawkins... He also played against Jalen Hurts in a national championship, so again, connect those two dots. Now, John Hightower is the only player that doesn't have a direct link to anyone in the Eagles, but he does like bikes and he is a dream chaser, okay? You go on his Twitter and it is just full of, well, stuff like this. It's amazing. He is a huge Meek Mill fan, and for that and for the sake of this video title, we'll give him a pass. Next two players are Prince Tega Wannigo and Jack Driscoll, the two offensive linemen selected by the Eagles. Those two were teammates at Auburn, okay? So there's already a link there. And this isn't the first time the Eagles have done this either. Halapu Lavati Vaitai and Matt Pryor were also teammates at TCU. And as a matter of fact, when Matt Pryor was drafted by the Eagles, the first man on the phone to him was his former mentor Vaitai, who helped him through the collegiate ranks and helped him with his versatility. And I've got a feeling that that relationship is similar with Driscoll and Wannigo, because here's what Prince had to say about it. I'm going to talk about my teammate first. Jack's a guy who came to Auburn 3 years ago, and he's a special one too. He's a close friend of mine, and just coming in there with Jack, that's a blessing for me too, and also the Eagles. Right, now, Sean Bradley may be the most obvious link here, because he played his collegiate football at Temple, so not only is he from the area, but all of his home games are obviously at Lincoln Financial Field, which is a bit of a plus, because that's where his home games are going to be for the foreseeable future. But did you know that his agent is Barry Gardner, former NFL linebacker who spent 4 years in Philadelphia and was a former teammate of Eagles head coach Doug Peterson. Hey Dougie wuggy wug wug, how you doing, buddy? Yep, got a lovely young player for you. Shaunus of Bradleyton, have you heard of him? No, you soon will. Sending the tape your way, my friend. Just like old times, See you later. Bye. On to Kes Watkins. Now, we mentioned that Jalen Hurts worked out with Watkins after the NFL Combine, and I think the best way of describing that is to look at what Watkins said in his press conference. He said, after I got drafted, he texted me and was like, let's go to work. It's really just what we've been about before the Combine, stuff like that. Really just been getting to work. So, instant takeaway. Jalen Hurts texts Kes Watkins after being drafted. Those two, best friends for life. It's really good that I'm with him because we kind of started bonding a lot. Started getting close as the Combine and such came. Then we really just got a connection. So, we're ready to have that connection and timing down. Ooh, training camp's gonna be spicy, mamacita. Ooh. Predicting now, Jalen Hurts' first touchdown pass in the preseason is going to Kes Watkins, alright? He's a worker, he's a competitor, he's not gonna stop until he proves to everybody that he's the best. Sounds like someone I know. He's determined. He's always determined. As opposed to sometimes being determined. He's always at it, alright? Bloody Jalen. Oh, classic. I've never seen a guy that put up 300, 400 yards a game, then came back and work out after the game. Honestly, he's just different. He's somebody that's going to work to get that starting spot, work to get better. He's not going to settle for nothing. But if he's not going to settle for nothing, that means he's going to settle for something. I mean, you should have worded that one a little bit differently. But we're picking at straws. But then Watkins also spoke about how he looks up to Deshaun Jackson as well, who's obviously a leader of the team, a veteran, one of the franchise legends. Like, can't get much more inspiration than that. And then you've got Casey Hill, the team's 7th round pick, who everyone had a go at me for leaving him off the roster projections, which, can I say, is because Sharif Miller played 2 special team snaps as a 4th round pick. Hill's a 7th. It's going to be a long road, alright? Let's be flexible here. Anyway, he came out of Stanford, which has, of course, produced names like J.J. Arthega-Whiteside, Zachary of Ertzington, and, of course, Nate Herbig. 3 teammates on the same team. Love to see it. Love to see it. Hill said that he thinks one of the things about Stanford is that it's a brotherhood like nowhere else. Almost sounds like a bit of an Illuminati cult, so I don't like the sound of that. But anyway, it's cool seeing that Hill will have 3 familiar faces when he steps into the NovaCare complex. And would you believe it? That is it. That is every single Eagles draft pick who has a link to someone else in this team. Like, that to me is way too coincidental. It's way too much of a coincidence to just happen by chance that everyone knows everyone and has a link to everyone over here. Like, that's too much. That is definitely something that was planned. The Eagles going after character guys who are high character, high motor, high Philly guys, so to speak, in order to avoid the repeats of absolute character catastrophe that we saw last year. So, fair play to Howie Roseman. This is a hidden weapon in this draft class. I don't think anyone else has caught on to it to this level yet. So, genuinely, I found it fascinating. I wanted to share it with you guys. I hope you see some value in that as well. That's it for another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports. If you like the channel, again, it'd be amazing if you could hit that subscribe button. From myself, Liam Jenkins, you can check out our content at Philadelphia SN on Twitter. My Twitter is at Liam Jenkins PSN. I'll see you soon.